Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I just wanted to jump in for a minute to let you guys know something that I have changed about my blog. I have been documenting every single morsel of food that went into my mouth since I started Zero Carb back in November. I documented over 100 days worth with at least one picture of what I ate. I did have a few days that I missed pictures. And at the time, those were my most viewed posts on my blog. I know that's because a lot of people were just really curious. Now it has been almost 4 months, and that blog post has become very monotonous and somewhat of a chore for me. First of all, when I first started Zero Carb, I was doing dairy, so I was able to vary the things I ate, but then I knocked out dairy, and my basic daily diet is meat and water, with sometimes a side of mustard, and once in a blue moon I'll have some eggs. So my meals are the same over and over and over again, and there's only so many ways you can spin that to make it an interesting blog post. But like I said, most of the curiosity has died down. My haters have come to realize that I'm not changing the way I eat, no matter what they tell me, no matter how much they insist I'm going to die, that I am killing myself, that I am spreading vicious and horrible suggestions to others, which I don't promote it for others. And then some just love to show me that since I'm not losing weight, it's not working, because they can't get it through their head that I am not doing this to lose weight at all. Some of you have said you think that I look like I've lost some weight. I have not weighed myself since December, early December I think it was. And when I started this, I weighed like 319, and then I had dropped a little bit, but I had gained most of that back. So the last time I weighed myself, I was probably 4 or 5 pounds down. Since then, my clothes has gotten increasingly tighter. I don't weigh myself. I don't measure myself. I don't weigh or measure my food. I don't care about those numbers. I only care about how I feel. Weight gain is very common with this, especially depending on what you have come from in your past. My life has been a big ball of eating disorders, so my body needs to heal, and it's going to take a long time. And I honestly do not care if I never lose a pound. Would I really hate it if I gained so much that I couldn't be active? Of course I would hate that. I want to be able to at least do some things, but I really don't think that's going to happen. I think I may gain for a little bit, but that's all going to balance out, and in its own time, I will lose. But no matter what, I'm not changing the way I eat. I like what I'm eating. I feel good, mentally good, still no depression. Has it been like 2 months now with no Prozac, and even the 2 months that I did while I was on Prozac, no depression, and before eating meat, even with Prozac, I went through bad depression bouts. So 4 months, no depression. To me, this is 100% success. I still have some other issues that I'm trying to work on. One of them is what I call fake hangovers. When I stopped drinking, my hangovers never stopped. I have days where I'm so hungover that it feels like I just want to crawl up and die. I have been told by doctors all through the years that that was sleep apnea causing that. I believe that is very possible. I'm sure that is part of the fatigue. But there's another part going on that makes me feel like something's wrong on the inside. I've had all kinds of tests. No doctor has ever been able to help me get rid of the fake hangover syndrome. I know there's actual people who have some gut thing where their food turns to alcohol. I'm not going through things like that. It's just that I feel sick, and usually it gets worse after I eat. So I had gotten rid of dairy, and that worked like a charm for a few weeks. I was like, oh yes, I'm cured, but it came back. I'm still not bringing back dairy because why bother? To me, the less I need to look at and fix for myself, the better. So still no dairy for me, just meat and water and occasionally eggs. But then in the Zeroing In on Health Facebook group, which is public and you can go read it, someone was talking about increasing their salt for GERD, and not just like increasing it by adding it into their food, but actually just a little bit on the tongue, and you drink water. And I thought, I wonder if GERD could be my problem. I never suffer from heartburn, so I never want to think that that's an issue. But when I feel sick, it almost feels like fumes are coming out from my body and up into my head, and I feel hungover, headache, my jaw gets tight, my sinuses get horrible. I just feel so sick, and I'm like disoriented. I can be confused. I feel like throwing up. I mean, I'm nauseous. My tongue gets weird. It's like all like kind of picky, like tingly. And I really feel like those days where I used to, smoke a pack and a half of cigarettes and drink all the booze I could get my hands on in one night, that next day I just would feel like I really wanted to kill myself because it was the worst. So now that I'm looking back, yes, the booze and cigarettes certainly didn't help me, but I really think something else was in play there that was making me feel 10 times worse. I don't know how I got through all those hangovers. You have to really want to be a drunk to suffer that way. So I'm very good at suffering. So that's why even with these fake hangovers, you don't really hear me complain about it too much because I'm so used to it. I'm just used to feeling like shit. But I did have a couple of weeks there where I felt good when I knocked the dairy out. So I just don't know. I'm not seasoning my food. I never have. Those of you who have been following me for a long time, you know that I've always said I don't like to season my meat because I like it to taste like meat. Who would have thought that I'd ever be able to eat this way and feel good? I mean, meat is just like the perfect food for me. I love meat. I love the flavor of meat. I don't need seasonings. I was putting a little bit of pepper. I don't even put that anymore. So my diet is very bland. Meat and water. But I have started now taking a little bit of salt. I did do some reading on it, and with the electrolytes and all that, and I'm sure my electrolytes have been completely damaged from past eating disorders. I don't currently have any eating disorders at all. It is freedom. Freedom. And I would like to talk about eating disorders more if you guys are open to that. I sometimes hate to talk about it because I'm afraid I'm actually going to encourage others to start an eating disorder. I know that sounds weird, but that's the way I started. I learned what others were doing and I was like, I'm in for that. It's a whole different dynamic, eating disorders. There are some people who just like to destroy themselves and it feels good. And I was one of those people because I was a destroyed child. I really was. So destruction was my norm. But anyway, I would be open to talking about those things if any of you would like to hear more about it. Or maybe you have someone with an eating disorder in your life and you don't know how to handle it and you can't understand why they do what they do. Maybe by hearing somebody like me say how it was a love relationship with an eating disorder, it might make you realize it's hard to change someone when they love what they're doing. And most who stay with it do love what they're doing. I am going to stop now. What was the point of this video? Oh yeah, so I'm not doing the daily updates on my blog. I still want very much to talk about zero carb. I am still willing to have you ask me all kinds of questions about the way I eat. I do have a playlist, so I will link to that down below if you're interested in knowing about this journey of mine. But it has become so normal for me to just eat meat and drink water every day that it just seems silly to keep saying that on my blog. That would be like watch me brush my teeth and do that every single day, unless I'm going to do a new little move now and then. You don't need to be seeing that daily. But I'm still doing it. I don't want anybody to think I stopped posting those because I have quit or that I no longer want to let you know that I've included a few things. None of that. And I got to tell you, it's absolutely freeing to be able to put the food on my plate and not try to make it look a little bit appealing, because people have slammed me for my pictures of my food, including my son, who's like, geez, Ma, it looks like you're eating dog vomit. That's what So now I can make my plate as ugly as I want, and I don't have to run around and look for my camera and take a picture, upload that. Just that one blog post could take me as much as, 20 or 30 minutes a day, and that time is better spent doing other things. So that is the deal, and I just wanted to let you know. Ask me anything you want in the comments, and I will be back with more soon. Bye! If you leave comments telling me I need vegetables, I will publicly humiliate you. You can think anything you want, but just remember what you think about me is none of my business. So keep it to yourself, baby!